Good morning everyone. Today we are going to be talking about augments and what augments I recommend the average player to actually use, especially with the coming update, since we can enhance our armors to plus 50, so we're going to have 5 augment slots. So it adds a whole new layer of complexity. Well, it's not really complex. I'm going to simplify it in today's video. But as usual, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily, so if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. So the first thing I want to showcase are the whale augments. So as you can see here, I have the Addy Death Mel, which is like 16 million or something right now on the market. It's kind of ridiculous how expensive it is. However, I was lucky. I bought this back in the day when it was like 3 million. I think it was 3 million or like 1.5 million. It was somewhere between there. But either way, I managed to snag this for relatively cheap compared to what it is now. So I have the Addy Death Mel, I have Gigasmite 3, Dust Soul 3, and Alt Secreta 3. This is what I would consider the ideal augments if 1, you are a melee player, and 2, you don't mind going full glass cannon. All of these augments are very powerful. Now of course on February 9th, our level cap is being increased to level 40, so we are getting the new high rank zones, which may drop different capsules. And on top of that, on the 16th, we will have the new Dark Falls Urgent Quest, which is definitely going to be dropping a new soul. We already saw the level 1 soul during the NGS headline, so if there is a level 3 variant of that specific soul, that is going to be the new bested slot. So what you would do is you'd replace your Dust Soul 3 over here with whatever that soul is called. I think it's called like the Eradication Soul or Irradi Soul or something. So if there's a level 3 version, definitely go for that. However, that only covers 4 augments. Since, our weapons are going to be enhanced to plus 50, that means we have an additional augment slot. So what should we put on it? Personally, I think a regular stat 3 or maybe the Domina series would be okay, or maybe even Dreadkeeper 3 is also a good option. Now, if you don't like any of the 3 options that I suggested, you could also go with a regular note if you want, because don't forget we are getting rank 3 Mount Magnus, rank 3 Labs, as well as rank 2 Rezel Forest, which means we might get level 2 capsules of the notes right here. So you can see here I have Magnus Note 1, which is 1.5% melee potency. Maybe we get a level 2 variant, which will give us 3% weapon potency, for example. So depending on what we can farm and depending on what we get, you might want to replace that with this instead. Maybe you don't want to be tanky, so Dreadkeeper 3 is out of the question. But the Domina series are a little bit too expensive, then maybe we can go with the Magnus Note 2. I'm hoping that's what they're going to be called. Again, this is all speculation, but we're going to find out very soon, because the update comes out in like 2 days. Either way, I will definitely make a video if there is a Magnus Note 2, because Mount Magnus rank 3 is the first one that comes out. If you want to farm Labs or Rezel Force, unfortunately you're gonna have to wait until the 16th and the 22nd respectively. But those are just the whale augments. So what about the average player? So you're the average player, you might have 3 million Meseta to your name, and you don't have a ton of Meseta, and maybe you don't play the game a lot. So what augments should you go for? So for the average player, these are my recommendations. You're going to go for a stat 3. So remember the event shop, hopefully you bought out everything from the event shop. If you haven't yet, please buy out everything from the event shop. She literally sells you enough of these stat 3 capsules, so buy whatever you want, whether you're melee, whether you're range, whether you're technique, buy the corresponding capsules, or better yet, just buy all of them, right? Second of all, Form Soul 3. If you're a melee character, Form Soul 3 is very inexpensive, and it's literally weapon potency 2% and damage resistance 2.5%. Very good choice. If you prefer going more glass cannon, the Didal Soul 2 is a very good option for melee classes, Peta Soul 2 for range classes, and Neck Soul 2 for tech classes. Remember, you can buy all of these also from the event shop, so please make sure to buy them before Shandy goes away. Next up is Alt Secreta 3. You should have a buttload of these Alt Secreta 2s sitting around. Remember, you can upgrade your Alt Secreta 2s into Alt Secreta 3s through the upgrade shop or the person where you augment and enhance all of your armors. You literally come to the item lab over here, you talk to them, go to the very last option, exchange augment capsule, and you go to all options on the far left, scroll all the way to the very bottom, and right here, Alt Secreta 3. So you can see you can exchange your regular Ultra 2s, 10 of them, plus 10 Photon Quartz, plus 10 Tetrasite in order to get one Ultra 3. So you can exchange your 50 gajillion Ultra 2s into Ultra 3s, and boom, easy peasy. And last but not least, you can go Dreadkeeper 2 if you want to go tanky. However, if you want more damage, you can always go Gigastat. So you can go Gigasmite 2 or Gigasmite 3, Gigasmite range or technique, depending on whatever you want. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Very, very easy, very, very budget. So as for your 5th slot, since we're getting a 5th slot, what should you go for that? So here is a beautiful graph made by Thrift. The link to their YouTube channel is in the description below. They also made a very, very detailed video about what augments they recommend. I highly recommend checking out their video, by the way. But they made this very, very helpful graph over here so that you can immediately see what augments will fit your weapons and armors the best. Now keep in mind, there are different categories. So for example, basic augments, you can overlap them. So for example, if you want Stamina 3 and Spirit 3 and Might 3, you can put all of them onto the same armor or the same weapon. However, all the other augment categories over here do not stack. So for example, the soul augments. Let's say you want the Daedal Soul 2 and you also want the Form Soul 3. Unfortunately, that does not work. You have to pick one out of the soul category. So in my case, I'm using Dust Soul 3 for my weapon, and for my armors, I'm using Form Soul 3. So unfortunately, I can't just stack like 5 different soul augments onto my armor and be done with it. It only allows me to pick one out of the soul augments over here. Next up are the Secreta augments. Again, you can only pick one Secreta, so it's Alt Secreta 1, 2, or 3. The Gigas augments are the same, and all of the augments are the same except for the basic augments, alright? So you can literally just look at this list and be like, alright, I can only pick one out of each one other than the basic ones, so I should pick those first, and then my last resort are going to be the basic augments to fill out the rest. But since we only have 5 augment slots per piece, I don't think it's that difficult. So for the whale people, you know, definitely go with the Addy augments. Those are the pay to win augments. They're really, really powerful. I would go with the Gigas augments. I would go with a very powerful soul augment. I would go with a Secreta augment, and then probably the Dread augment. However, again, if you want to go full glass cannon, min-max DPS, you could always try Mastery 3. Mastery 3 is under basic augments, so don't forget you can go Mastery 3 and then stack on top of that like a Might 3 or even maybe Might 4 if that comes out and get even more potency. However, you cannot stack different masteries. So for example, if you put Mastery 3 onto your weapon, you can't have your second augment as Mastery 2, alright? It does not work like that. They cannot overlap each other, so that is something to keep note of for the basic augments as well, alright? But at the end of the day, your choice of armors, weapons, as well as augments should fit your personal playstyle, alright? Sure, there is a quote-unquote meta of going full glass cannon, just dodge everything forehead, just counter everything forehead, and just kill things as quickly as possible. That is the preferred meta. A lot of people prefer to go that direction. However, if you're like me and you have a reaction speed of a sloth, then maybe you want to go tanky because you can't react fast enough anyway, so you don't want to die, because if you're dead, you're doing 0 DPS, right? So that is why I personally build a lot more defensive base. I have Veterans Resolve 3. A lot of people laugh at me that, oh, Caro, Veterans Resolve 3 suck. Why are you using that? Well, because if I don't use it, I'm dead, and when I'm on the floor, I don't do damage. So I'd rather do a little bit less damage than no damage at all. So again, it really depends on your playstyle. If you're super MLG 420 Blaze It, then by all means go full glass cannon and, you know, just wreck everything. But if you're an old man like me, well, maybe think about going a little bit tanky, a little bit more survivability, and you'll be fine. Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again. But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye!
What can I say except you're welcome for the